A very, very good morning to all of you. We have some members and we have some guests. Really happy to be organizing such an event because I personally have a great passion for cooking and super excited that we have Manjri Agarwal from Big Plate, Small Plates with us here today. She has whipped up a very, very exciting menu, and I'm sure you all will see that as we go along in the event. This mother of two, Manjri, is always looking for adventure, be it in the kitchen or in the mountains. She is a health coach and a fitness enthusiast whose soul is a traveler. A food writer with two published books and a restaurateur, Manjri is also the past chairperson of YFlow and senior vice chairperson of Flow. Thank you so much, Manjri, for agreeing to do this for MLF. We're very, very obligated, and I'm sure everybody is going to really enjoy the session today. It also ties into our month-long campaign on nutrition. I've seen some of your recipes, they're very healthy and nicely done. And we're doing this whole month, thing on nutrition. So it's a very good fit. I would request panelists who are cooking along to kindly indicate it to us. Maybe you can just, give us a thumbs up if anyone is. I don't think we have anybody cooking along, but feel free to put in your questions in the chat window. And towards the end of the session, we'll also open it up for live interaction. So please ask questions as we go along. Over to you, Manjri.
Thank you, Snigdha. Thank you.
Manjri, can't hear you too well. Can you go closer to the audio?
Better?
Yes, yes. Can't hear you again.
We did the sound test and it was fine. Is it okay?
Yes,
yes. I think you'll have to be close to the mic.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Yeah, now this is fine?
Yes.
I want to thank you for having me here. Thank you to MCCI. Thank you, Snigdha. Thank you, Mansi. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm so glad to hear about your initiative for this month, that it's health and nutrition. Health and as women and caregivers, we have to, look after other people's health as well. People in the older generation, people.
You're inaudible again, Manjri.
Mansi, can you go on mute? I think there is some disturbance at your end. Just go on mute. Some air disturbance. Yeah.
You can hear me?
Yeah. Just go on. Let me just test it again. Just say something.
Yeah. So I'm glad that you all are having this initiative on health and nutrition this month, because I think it's very important as caregivers of the older generation and the younger generation that we educate ourselves and learn about good health, because that's the only way we can spread good health and make sure that everyone around us live healthy. So very quickly, I'm going to start with today's menu. We have three very interesting dishes. And again, a lot of them, I have made them healthy, removed the unhealthy part of it. So I'm going to start with sweet potato bruschetta. I am presuming that no one is cooking along. So I'm going to go at a faster speed. Generally, people cook along, I'm slower. So please feel free to ask any questions. You can put in the chat. Snigdha or Mansi, you can ask me, because if I'm cooking, my hands are a little dirty and I'm not able to read the questions. So for the sweet potato bruschetta, I have boiled sweet potato. I am not going to remove the skin, because the skin gives it a little crunch when we have it. So I'm just going to slice it. Now, when you boil it, make sure that it's not completely boiled, like it's not over boiled, because I want it a little like hard. So it's easy to cut and it maintains its shape. So that's what is important to maintain. And cut them a little thick, yeah, like this. Not too thick, of course, but decent size, yeah. So this is the size that I would like to make. And the smaller ones you keep aside, because we want, a good size. I'm Snigdha, you can hear me, right?
Yes, clearly now.
Okay. So I'm just doing a few more. Now, sweet potato is actually a great substitute for potato. I don't know how much people use sweet potato, but it's very tasty, and there's just like millions of ways of making sweet potato and using it. Besides the shakarkandi chaat that is so famous in Calcutta, there's I do a oven baked sweet potato fries. So my kids have completely stopped having potato fries, and this is all we make at home, and it's a great snack to have.
Much healthier than the normal potato also, isn't it?
Absolutely, because it has high fiber and it has a the GI content of it now makes you feel fuller for longer. You know, it takes longer for it to digest, and that's why we feel full for longer, and that's why we eat less. A lot of the refined food will digest fast, and that's why we need to have a meal very quickly after that.
Yes.
So that's why we must have fibrous food with a low GI, because then it takes longer to digest. And sweet potato is one of them. It's complex carb. It is definitely rich in carbohydrates, but it's good carbs, which our body also needs for energy. So you'll see a lot of people in extreme sports, they have a lot of boiled sweet potatoes. Gives you energy just before a run or a marathon. So I'm going to quickly brush some olive oil on this, and I have an oven heating, and I'm going to bake this just for around 10 minutes till it becomes a little, brown on top. Then you pull it out. You can bake it at 180, very simple. And then I'm going to make the filling in the meantime.
For how long would you be baking that, Manjri?
7 to 10 minutes, depending on when you start seeing it brown on top.
Okay.
Then it's good to go. So I have cherry tomatoes here. I like to use cherry tomatoes because they give they're a little sweeter than regular tomatoes. So for this, I like to use cherry tomatoes. I have them chopped into 4. And I have some basil leaves here. So I'm going to use some herbs. Fresh herbs is wonderful to include. I mean, I can't tell you the importance of herbs. All our herbs have a lot of medicinal value, a lot of vitamins, a lot of minerals. So we must include them. In fact, with our Indian food, we must have green chutneys. Every meal, we must include a green chutney because it's the best way of including vitamin C, including immunity boosters like ginger, coriander, mint. Mint has a lot of value. It's very, all herbs are detoxing for our stomach. So how we use a deodorant outside, the detox, it does a job inside our system. It actually removes bad odor. It removes all toxins. So please include green chutneys and be creative with your green chutneys. Include different things in them every day. Sometimes mint, sometimes coriander. I even make it with spring onions. I do a raw mango chutney. I put green chilies in it. Green chilies are very rich in antioxidants. So I include that. So be creative with your green chutneys. So I've added this. I'm going to add salt only just before I'm going to put the things together. So for this, I'm just putting this and I'm adding balsamic vinegar.
Any brand that you recommend?
So balsamic, make sure that it's from Modena. Most of the balsamics will be from Modena. That's the region in Italy where balsamic comes from. And balsamic has a very good shelf life. So if you buy a balsamic bottle, it'll stay like for a year in the refrigerator, sometimes even longer, because aged balsamic is even tastier. So you'll actually get, things like 50-year-old balsamic, because the longer it is aged, the tastier it gets. And it gets more earthy in flavor. And I'm going to add black pepper to this. Salt I will add only later because the tomatoes will leave moisture. So this is a regular bruschetta filling that we generally put on crostini, but instead of crostini, we're using sweet potatoes. And you can be very creative with your fillings, with your toppings. You can have, you can put guacamole, you can put mushrooms. So once what I've done is I've sauteed mushrooms, put on sweet potatoes, and I put cheese on top of it, and then I baked it again. So it was like a mushroom on toast, but I had used it on sweet potato. Okay, so then I'm going to now begin with the bibimbap. That will take a little longer. So first, let's saute the rice. So I'm going to move my laptop here and hopefully everyone can see it. And I will keep bringing the pan.
So typically, is this a main course sort of a dish? I mean,
interestingly, bibimbap, so bap means rice and bipin means mixture of things.
Okay.
So yeah, they had bibimbap. It's like whatever's left over from the previous night or the previous day, whatever vegetables are left over, they put rice in the center and they put all these vegetables all around. So I was just going to say that the vegetables that I have used is what I have. But you can be very creative and completely mix and match your vegetables. You can use green beans, you can use broccoli, you can use cauliflower. It's absolutely fine to, even the marinations that I'm using, you can mix and match. You don't have to particularly use cucumber the same way that I have used it. You can completely mix and match it.
There's a question from Divya Ji. Would you recommend regular balsamic or the glazed balsamic?
For this
regular.
Yeah. Glazed balsamic is great just as toppings because it's sweet and sticky. They look good when you're topping them. It comes in a squeezy bottle. Otherwise, for this purpose, regular balsamic. Okay, so I'm going to use sesame oil. Sesame oil now, you know, after this we can talk.
Sorry about that.
No problem. Yeah. So I'm going to talk a little bit about oils and cooking oils and, you know, smoking points and stuff, because that is, everyone's very confused about what they should use and all. So we will talk about this. In this, I'm using sesame oil and I'm going to make sure that I don't heat it too much. Sesame oil doesn't have a very high smoking point. It has a medium smoking point. So I'm going to use it just for a stir fry. So I'm going to add spring onion. Yeah, should I keep turning it around?
Yeah, we can see it that way. Yes.
Right. So just a little, soften it just a little bit, not too much. And I have any short white grain rice, yeah, anything short. So Govind Bhog, any of the Japanese rices that are short grain, just make sure that it's a short grain rice. I'll add a little bit of that, and actually it's a bit much. To this, I'm adding some black rice. Now, black rice actually is locally available in Bengal, and it's full of antioxidants. This is absolutely a wonderful rice to have.
Could you please show it up near the camera? I mean, does it look black or is it?
It's actually black only. It's called black rice, but when you boil it, it may be brownish black, something like that.
Right.
It's very, very healthy, very high in fiber. Antioxidant content is great in this. So I would say please at least have it 3 to 4 times in a week, black rice. What I do is that, you know, nowadays we don't, I don't, not even nowadays, I mean, it's been like this for some time, where we don't have basmati rice at all in the house. We only use, you know, brown rice, black rice, red rice, Govind Bhog, because the more refined the flour, the rice is, the less nutrient it is. The more brown, the more like thick it is, there's more nutrition in it. Even Usna Chawal has more nutrition, honestly, than what we have, the basmati. Basmati has zero nutrition content.
So, and I mean, does that work for all sorts of recipes, like a biryani as well and things like that?
It's all in the mind. Of course, for a biryani, you want the long grain and all of that. And how often are you having biryani? So it's perfectly all right to have it then. So on a daily basis, you should have different kinds of rice. And every rice has its own value. So even red rice is very good. And I have gochujang paste here. Now in the recipe, I've told you all any chili paste, sriracha, any chili paste that you have. Traditionally, this is a fermented spicy Korean chili paste. It's called gochujang. Okay, I managed to get over here to a wholesaler. I don't know. They supply to a lot of the restaurants, and the restaurants, I had connects with them because of the restaurant business that I was in. So because the restaurants are not open, they had a lot of surplus goods. So I managed to get it. But you can use anything. You can use any chili paste. this of course is more authentic. This is what also they use for kimchi as a base. So
Yes.
food is another complete topic that I can talk on for 1 hour. Started on how important it is to have it, and have it in this form. You're already taking care of your fermented needs, and this entire bowl has so much goodness in it and so many health benefits. When you're eating it, you're sorted for the whole day. All your nutrients are taken care of. So I'm just adding a little bit of salt. The paste already has salt, so I'm not adding too much. And I've turned off the gas. Yeah. So this is what it's looking like, and it's smelling yum. Smelling
looks really nice, yeah.
So now I'm going to. So now I'm going to just quickly explain to you all the other marinations that we need to do. A small bowl where I have cucumber. For the cucumber, what I would recommend for you all to do is add some salt and leave it for say 15-20 minutes with the water. I don't have that time right now, so I'm going to do it very quickly. I'm just adding sesame seeds to it.
Just raw sesame or toasted?
Roasted. You can roast it.
Okay.
And I'm adding some soya sauce, 2 teaspoons. And some chili powder. Now these are just, I'm doing this with cucumber. You could do this with carrots. Perfectly all right to do that. And then I just leave this to marinate for some time. Like while everything else is cooking.
Sure.
You just leave this like this. So then the flavor. Yeah, and I've removed the. Sorry.
No, sorry, that's some.
I've removed the seeds and I've cut it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sure.
The next is carrots. Now I've cut them lengthwise, thin, and all I need to do is add a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of olive oil. That's all I'm putting for carrots. I'm not doing much with carrots. I'm adding some salt. So if you can see, I have over here pink salt. Salt is again something that please mix it up. You don't have rock salt, sea salt, pink salt. This salt is actually just before the lockdown, I managed to go to Chile in South America, and we went to Atacama Desert, and we got it from the salt lakes over there, the salt desert.
Okay.
So they have their own minerals and vitamins, which we sometimes don't get from food. They can only come from under the sea or from those mountains because the minerals are.
So pink salt is senda namak, right? I mean, what we call senda namak.
Rock salt is, I think, senda namak.
Senda namak, okay.
You have black rock salt, which is kala namak. You have sea salt, which is salt from the seawater. That has its own nutrients. You know, the things that we get from seaweed, those nutrition you get in sea salt. You don't really get a salt or any other food. Sea vegetables have their own nutrition from the water, from the ocean water. So please mix up your salts also. So you just have, like, what I do is like I put them in different shakers, so I keep changing my shakers every time.
Okay. There's a question. Did you remove the skin from the cucumber?
No, I didn't remove the skin. But if you don't have the skin, you're welcome to remove it. I didn't remove it because I feel it has a lot of nutrition.
Sure.
So this is what I've done with the cucumber. And then I have cabbage. So I have purple cabbage. And I have white cabbage. You know, a humble pata gobi has a benefit that we don't even realize. I think we give it very, very little respect for what it does for us. And one of the biggest things it does is that it removes the micro pieces of plastic in our body.
Really? That's something I didn't know at all.
we all land up eating a lot of plastic. We don't realize it, but all our food, all our grains, all our spices, everything is packaged in plastic. And tiny microbes that you can't even see goes inside that food, and eventually we're taking it in. So the cabbage is probably one of the only vegetables that manages to remove those plastics from our body.
Wow, interesting.
Very little credit that we give this patta gobi.
Yes.
I'm going to add, say, 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar is become quite a trend now for everyone to have, but it has tremendous amount of goodness. So if you don't like to have it on its own, you mix it up in food as a salad dressing. You know, instead of using vinegar, use apple cider vinegar, and you get all the benefits of it. As long as you don't cook it, you can't cook apple cider vinegar. So I'm not here, I'm just mixing it raw. And the acidity from the vinegar is going to slightly soften up the cabbage. So you don't need to cook this. If you just leave it like this, it'll be perfect for you to have. Even the rawness will go away that, you know, that we sometimes feel. And I'm going to add black sesame seeds and some salt. Now sesame seeds has probably more calcium than a glass of milk.
Yes.
And something that's very interesting that we don't know, and it's not advertised that much, but apna jo postu dana hai, the poppy seeds has even more calcium than sesame seeds. It's the single most important calcium giving seed, poppy seeds. So, and you know, when something is under the eye, we just give it very little.
Absolutely. I mean, I think the world is now using the ingredients that India has always used in its kitchen, right?
Yeah, and Ayurveda is becoming a huge trend. So this is done, and I'm leaving it aside again so that the acidity cooks the cabbage a little bit more. And then I have some spinach over here, which I've boiled. Right now, the quality of spinach that you're getting is very bad. Actually, I don't know if everyone's feeling, but I'm finding the quality of all fruits and vegetables quite sad right now.
I think it's also because you can't choose also. Your regular suppliers are, you know, working in, I mean, it's a difficult time. So whatever's coming is good for now, I think.
Exactly. I'm trying to get like from farms and stuff like that, but still I feel it's, and you get so little of it that it's not sufficient for the entire family. So just boiled spinach. And I'm just squeezing out all the water from this. Yeah, there's a lot of water content, and see how little is actually come out of it. So I've used whole leaves here. Okay.
Okay.
You don't need to cut it because it becomes so tiny anyway. So I like to use the whole leaves. And I'm using garlic paste, just 1 teaspoon of garlic paste. Then I'm using sesame powder. I just made it. This is raw sesame powder. You don't need to toast this. And sesame powder, no, it's a very useful thing in like Japanese, Asian foods to make salad dressing. So it's always good to have sesame powder handy. So you can always add it to any soup and dressing. And in soup, it gives you a nice texture. It thickens it up. So it gives you a nice texture also, miso soup. So something I like to have handy.
So can this be used as a natural thickening agent if necessary, if someone doesn't want to use cornstarch or something, or not there? No.
No, substitute for the maida, like if you want to make a white sauce, no. That it won't do, but if you have a little watery soup, you can add it and it'll give it a little texture to it.
Okay.
But it's not a thickening agent. No. And a little bit of salt again. Salt and, or maybe soya sauce. I can now, there's something called tamari, which is a gluten-free soya sauce that is also out in the market. It's not that popular in India. I don't think I think it's available in food halls. So maybe online you can order it.
Could you just tell us what the name is?
Tamari, Tamari.
Okay.
If anyone's gluten intolerant, then you can always have tamari. And tamari is something nowadays that are available in a lot of restaurants also. If you tell them that you want gluten-free soya sauce, I know in Bombay and Delhi, I'm not sure of Calcutta, they'll give you tamari. And what's good about it is that sodium content is much lower. And it's also, it doesn't have that gluten soya content. So it's much lighter to digest as well. So I find tamari much lighter and nice, easier to use. But I'm out of my stock of tamari. And lastly, we have mushrooms. So again, I'm going to be sauteing mushrooms. It's just regular button mushrooms. For this, I'm using olive oil, and I'm not going to smoke my olive oil. I'm just keeping it at a very low flame. I've added some onions. Now, olive oil, everyone started cooking a lot with olive oil, thinking it's a healthier oil. But for Indian food, actually, olive oil is not good because you should not smoke olive oil.
Yes.
Very, very nicely warm, or it should be used raw in salads. So we should avoid olive, and even the taste of olive oil will not go with Indian food so much. For Indian food, the best thing to use is ghee. It is the most underrated form of cooking or medium of cooking. I feel ghee is something that is a gift from our ancestors to us.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And I think, with olive oil, we end up burning it. It just smokes up so quickly. And,
oil which doesn't have a high smoking point, it becomes rancid, it becomes toxic, and you're actually putting toxins in your food and it's putting that in your
right. Very right.
And ghee has so many benefits that I start talking about ghee, it'll take me half an hour. But the head and skin also. And I've been studying a lot of Ayurveda recently. And I'm studying to become a certified coach in Ayurveda because I feel there's just so much knowledge, and I'm so glad that it came from our country. And it's so sad that it's not as widely used, because everything can be cured with food. Everything, any disease. It's just that the patience and the faith and the belief to do it, and that's what Ayurveda believes. It's just through food, through your herbs, all natural. Nothing is chemicals.
So this is the theme of our webinar next week, Manjari, where, Pooja is actually going to say that food is all that contributes to your health. You are what you eat, basically.
It is completely what I live by.
Yes.
What you put inside is, you're putting the outside world inside your body through your mouth. So you should be careful about, what we're putting inside our mouth, inside our body. You know what I find so absurd sometimes, that people are so concerned about what they put on their skin.
Yeah.
इसमें क्या है, ये chemical है, वो chemical है. Putting inside our body, which is far more important.
Absolutely, very right.
Asking questions, and I'm like, well, why? Why are you so not bothered about what's going inside?
Because I guess you don't get to see it, so it doesn't bother you there.
It's all about the outer, but I think this lockdown has helped a lot of people, and all of us, we all are so much more concerned about our health.
Yeah, Manjari, can I ask one thing? The tamari is the dark soya sauce or the light?
The Shruti?
Yeah, Shruti, yeah.
Tamari, they only get one kind, so it is light. It doesn't darken the food.
So may I ask, why does one use light soya sauce in some recipes and dark soya sauce? I've never able to differentiate.
Sure. When you don't want something to become dark, you use light soya sauce.
Okay.
And dark soya sauce, you get that dark color.
Okay.
The sauces that have dark colors.
Okay.
A lot of it comes from the dark soya sauce.
Okay.
The content is more or less the same.
Okay. Thank you so much.
So I'm going to plate this.
Waiting to see the plating, actually.
Yes. The bibimbap, I put the rice in a bowl over here. Now I'm making this without egg, but once I've plated this, then I can tell you at what point to put the egg, and it is amazing even with egg. So I put the rice here. Then I've got some of the mushrooms. So the great thing is that everything else is kind of room temperature. The rice you can warm up. Even you can prepare everything in advance, and the rice you can warm up and adjust before serving. So I put some of the mushrooms on one side. Everyone can see, right? Carefully.
Yes, yes.
Okay, now cucumbers. And I don't know how my kids have taken to this bowl. And I'm so happy because then they eat all the vegetables that come with it. So I'm just so happy every time they ask for bibimbap to be made at home.
I think the beauty is also you taste each vegetable individually. It's not like a whole mixture of different things.
And it's not overcooked also, you know?
Yeah.
So once I was out of carrots and I put my green beans like this. You can use zucchini also instead of the cucumber. So, you know, you can be very, very creative.
Manjari, this is every mother's dream come true. If a child actually eats this happily, you're fortunate.
Very happy. I'm like, okay, fine, I will make this for you. And then what I do, because the kids love eggs and it's great protein, I just have a fried egg which I put in the center over here. So
looks amazing.
Sodium bibimbap, it's very colorful. That's why I'm saying it takes care of every single nutrient that your body needs for that day. It's health in a bowl.
Yeah. Really nice.
This looks amazing.
And super healthy, super tasty. So one of the things that we do with the children also and for ourselves also, you try and have all the colors of the rainbow in a day.
Yes.
In all your meals. You make sure you have your greens, which is very easy to have greens, but sometimes the kids don't have it. You make sure you have your orange from your carrots or your pumpkins. You make sure you have your reds, which is from your red bell pepper or from your tomatoes, yellow from the yellow bell pepper, or a fruit also. Between fruits, vegetables, you have to have all colors. The purple or the violet comes from the blueberries or from purple cabbage or the antioxidants like the rice. So it's very important that we have all 7 colors because everything has its importance. So that's why I make sure that, you know, it covers everything.
Looked really good.
People who have egg, how do you place it, Manjari?
So you just do a fried egg.
Okay.
Fried egg and put it in the center.
Okay. On top of the rice.
On top of the rice, yeah. So my sweet potatoes are done. I've just it's like very lightly toasted. I didn't toast it too much. And I'm going to just do 4 to save time.
I'm sorry, Manjari, were these parboiled or they were raw and you chopped them and baked them?
Parboiled. They were parboiled. That's why then I baked them to get it further and to brown it. So, you know, balsamic is quite salty and sour. So I'm going to use very little salt. Not going to use too much. Very little salt in it. And also you can use a little bit of feta cheese, which we can place once we put our bruschetta.
May I interrupt and ask a question regarding the rice? There's a question from Sunita.
Yes, please.
The short grain rice, was it cooked or only sauteed as the black rice was boiled?
No, the white rice was also boiled. Both are boiled, which I just mixed and I stir fried it.
Yeah.
So
we hope some participants are going to cook these dishes and post some pictures later.
Yes. And please tag me as well. On
yeah.
We love seeing when people make our food. And you can add a little bit of feta on top. Feta is one of the healthier cheeses to have. It is low on calorie because it's more fresh. It's a softer cheese than the regular cheese. And it's very salty. So that's why you must be careful of the salt content on your dish. The only unfortunate thing about feta in India is that, you know, because of the weather and because it's coming from outside, we can't get those cubes. Otherwise, fresh feta cut in cubes looks far nicer.
Yeah, it's very crumbly here by the time you actually get it.
Exactly. And abroad, you can get great quality. So this is, I've just done 4, but you know, entire.
Great. Looks so nice.
Yeah.
Manjiri, what was it which what you added at the last?
Feta cheese.
No, above the feta cheese?
Pepper. Just
Okay.
pepper.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to begin. Okay, so now we'll do quinoa. Now, quinoa has become like the latest fad now, and it is actually a very good grain to have. It's gluten-free, it's high in fiber, and the great thing about it is that it is high in prebiotics. Now, a little bit about prebiotics. We all know what probiotics is. Prebiotics is what comes before probiotics. So when you have a seed, which is your good bacteria in your gut, your probiotics also have good bacteria. So by having probiotics, you're putting more seed into the gut, and for it to function. But the seed needs the soil, it needs the water, it needs sunlight. So that is what prebiotic does. Prebiotic foods help your probiotic foods to multiply, to grow, and to do its job in the gut. Probiotics also have a very short life. So when you eat it, sometimes they get digested and killed by the stomach acid. It doesn't even reach your gut. The prebiotic food will in fact help your gut flora to create that good bacteria. And it's probably better to have prebiotic foods because they can go inside your system and create more good bacteria. Because it can stay longer. It doesn't digest that quickly. It takes longer to digest. For example, quinoa, asparagus, onion, garlic, leeks. Asparagus is very, very rich. Chicory roots. So all these things are very fiber. All are prebiotic foods. So quinoa is saying this is also a myth that it is no carb. There is carb content in quinoa. It's just that the protein content is a little higher than the carb content. It's not higher, it's higher than the regular grains. But it doesn't mean that it is low carb. It is not low carb. It has like the percentages of protein and carb. Protein is less than carb, but it is more than regular other grains.
Okay.
That's why they say it's high protein. It's a high protein compared to other grains. But it is not a low carb. It is definitely a healthier carb to have than any other carb. No doubt in that. It is high in fiber. But mix up your grains. Don't have the same grain. This is giving you some nutrition, but the other grains are giving other nutrition. So please mix it up. Don't just have only quinoa in all your meals. But it is a very versatile grain.
Can't hear you, Manjri.
I'm saying I love working with quinoa. Is it okay now? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Snigdha, she's audible, yeah?
Yeah, we are able to hear you.
Okay. So it's a very versatile grain. It can take the flavor of anything. So very, very flexible to use. Yeah. So I'm using just a little bit of olive oil. I don't want to use too much, literally 1 teaspoon. I'm not heating it too much. See, because I'm not like overdoing my onions and garlic, I don't need to have very hot oil. So I'm just adding a little bit of garlic to this, chopped garlic. And I want that flavor of garlic, so I'm not going to overcook my garlic. I'm just sauteing it lightly. I don't want it to burn. I don't want it to overcook because the taste of garlic will come, the benefits of garlic will come then.
So it's not a great idea to brown the garlic, is it?
No, not for this, not this food.
Okay.
Browning anything, unfortunately in our foods, we'll end up overcooking a lot of the vegetables and killing all the nutrition. So, if we can start making more fresh food, which is not overcooked, you're keeping the nutrition content in that. So, just sauteed it a little bit. Then I'm going to add some of the other vegetables. I have red bell pepper. Red bell pepper is one of the most important things to have for your immunity right now. It's a great immunity builder. Full of vitamin C. I've added red and yellow bell pepper.
Any brand of quinoa that you recommend?
No, it's honestly all the same. I think Fab India has a very good brand of quinoa, but otherwise they're honestly all the same. White quinoa, and you get tricolor also, which is white, black, and red. And I'll tell you an interesting trivia. Red quinoa is actually ragi, whole ragi that we get or nachni. Widely available in India. Sab jagah milta hai. But then we buy tri-colored quinoa, but it's actually ragi only.
This sounds more exotic as quinoa.
Exactly. So it's also grown in South America, ragi, but they call it red quinoa. They call it over there. So I added some mushrooms also. I'll tell you an interesting fact about mushrooms while I'm sorting this. I'm going to add some salt. Oh, actually, I'm going to add some dukha powder. I've given the recipe of dukha powder. This is an Egyptian herb. It's made with nuts and spices. And it's like a garam masala, like how every home will have its own combination of spices or the proportions of spices. Like that in Egypt, they have their own, every home will have their own dukha recipe also. So you can use, sometimes they use almonds, sometimes they use sesame seeds, sometimes someone will use coriander seeds. It varies. I've given you the one that I like to make. And this is again like, you can put it in quinoa, you can just marinate paneer with it or potatoes with it and use it. So it's a very versatile powder to make and keep.
We have a question from Namrata. Can you name some other prebiotic foods?
Prebiotic food, yeah. So asparagus, quinoa, cottage cheese, peas, onion garlic leeks, then chicory root, and I think so these are like the top 10. And of course, then you can always go on to more, but these are like the top 10 prebiotic foods. And if you like, if you look it up, I can send you some more names later on, but these are the top 10.
Sure. Yeah. And there's another question from Namrata ji, that where can you get this powder? Can you get this dukha powder anywhere, or do you have to make it in India?
No, I got it from London, but then I started making it because it got over. But I'm sure you can, if you look at it online, I'm sure Amazon will figure it out and get it for you from somewhere.
Yeah, true.
So here is my quinoa, which is sauteing. You can add beans to this, broccoli to this, be experimental. Up to you, whatever you want to add. You can even add herbs to this if you like. Once you boil quinoa, it doesn't take that long to cook. You don't have to overcook it, just a slight stir fry and it's done. And at the same time, it takes the flavor of anything that you put it in. It's absolutely bland, so you can add anything to it. So you can, I even, I mix it in my brown rice and we have it with our kids. So, the kids get that extra fiber also and they don't even realize I have quinoa.
So Manjari, what is the right way to boil quinoa? Do we soak it for a couple of minutes before we put it to boil?
At least an hour, and then you can.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's a tougher grain, so it takes a little longer to boil than your normal.
Okay. Thank you.
And you can use quinoa raw, like once it's boiled, you can make a salad out of it, you can make tikkis out of it. There's plenty of things that you can. Okay, so I'm going to quickly make the sauce also. I have brinjal that I have roasted and I've removed the skin of this. Now this is just one sauce that I made which tasted very nice with this. The other sauce that will also taste nice with this is green tahini, which is on my page. It's just tahini paste with herbs and lemon juice and olive oil. That also tastes very nice. And I'm using tahina paste. Now tahina paste also you can make at home. Okay, but you can just buy ready-made also. It's the store-bought in jars, or you can make this at home, which is basically churning the sesame seeds. It's very, very healthy, very, very healthy.
What's your recipe, Manjari? How do you do it?
Tahina paste. So nowadays for demos and all, I'm just buying it ready. But otherwise, you just need olive oil and sesame seeds, and you keep churning it, and you will get it. Make that finish and give it to you if want.
Yeah.
But does it become so fine even if you make it at home? Like the
No.
store-bought one is very fine.
Yeah. You won't find it that fine, but okay, everything has its own purpose. But it's okay to use the store-bought one. Perfectly all right. But, and then I'm adding a little bit of lemon juice. And salt. Now in this you can even add parsley, you know, to give it a nice color also. So this is a simplified version of mutabel. Mutabel is a Middle Eastern dip. So I have just simplified it. In mutabel you add garlic and a few other things, but it kind of tastes like that. You see how creamy it is. Yummy.
Yes, it's looking like a hummus sort of a.
Yeah. And it's no chickpeas.
Very nice.
Really tasty. So I disguise all my vegetables like this when I make my kids.
I think your kids would know by now.
No. Sometimes my husband will be like, you know, the other day I made kaddu ka tikyas and he was loving it. I put banana and kaddu and I made these tikyas with some gravy, cashew gravy. Like it's really amazing. And I said, you know, I want to know what it is. I don't want to know. You don't tell me. Then I won't want to eat it.
Yeah, absolutely.
The same thing with my kids. It's better they don't know what they're eating.
Yeah, I mean, you can ruin the fun for them if you tell them what they're eating.
Them and everything. I'm like, you know, this has this benefit. So sometimes they do listen and sometimes they're like, okay, we don't want to do. So last thing on the gas, I have some paneer cut here. Just going to do 2 of them. So I've cut them very thin. Very thin. Just lightly brushing with olive oil, very light. So sesame oil, like you notice that we use it a lot in Indian foods and even in Indian food, you can use sesame oil, tilka tel. But when you start moving west, the use of sesame oil is far less. When you start using a lot of olive oils and other nut oils, there's a new oil called avocado oil, which is started getting.
What is this that you're adding, Manjri?
I'm adding za'atar.
Okay.
Are these ingredients available here? Za'atar powder and all?
Za'atar should be available, yeah. Za'atar should be available even in Nature's Basket.
Okay.
So I have mixed toasted sesame seeds with it. And I just keep this, you know, mixture. So I just use it for anything like. So traditionally I would have used halloumi cheese, but obviously it's not available right now and can't even get it. So that's why I substituted with paneer and it tastes really nice even with paneer. So I'm just going to grill it.
Can this be substituted with tofu as well? Or will it taste different?
No, it tastes very different. Tofu will be very soft and tofu and za'atar I don't think will really go that well.
Okay.
So it's just lightly roasted and it becomes softer. So roast it to the point where it becomes softer and not harder. At one point it starts becoming soft and then suddenly starts becoming tougher. So that's the point you have to stop. I'm just going to add some salt. So za'atar is a Middle Eastern thyme. It's dried thyme in the Middle East, kind of thyme family. So if you don't get za'atar, you can use thyme, make a powder out of it, the dried thyme, and add some sesame seeds to it. So that's a good substitute also.
There's one question. Do you have to boil quinoa like rice and then use?
It's not exactly like rice because it takes longer to boil. But yes, you soak it, you put it in water, and you have to strain it. So that process is the same, but it just takes longer than rice, quinoa, to boil. And strain it and then just, open it out because otherwise it's stick together. And make sure that it's not overcooked. Overcooked, then it become one lump.
So you shouldn't use the pressure cooker for it, for sure.
No. Because then you can't monitor it. This is done. Yeah. This is something, again, I like the taste of it altogether. You can always omit it, the paneer, and serve only the quinoa and the dressing. You can even serve it warm. You can serve it cold, as in like you can put this quinoa in the refrigerator, put the sauce in the refrigerator, and serve it as a cold salad. It's really up to you, like, how creative you want to be, and you can omit the paneer part of it and just serve it as a salad. So it's up to you how creative you want to be.
With the paneer, it becomes like a meal again, a full meal.
A meal or like an appetizer.
Yeah.
People looking for high protein meals, I think this would be a good meal for them.
And just some salad leaf on the side as well. And so this is a cookie cutter. It gives you a very restaurant feel, like when you're plating like this, and it's very easy. So you just push the quinoa in. Make sure it's like pressed down. And just pray that it stays in shape. Okay. So you can do something easier. Take a small katori and put it in that also. And turn that katori around. But
yes, that is what we amateur cooks do to make the food interesting for kids.
This is also very
yeah.
just spreading some of it inside. Now, this is a dip that I've made with this. You can even put hummus on it. So all these Middle Eastern flavors, everything will go. You don't necessarily, have to. So I just cut the paneer into half. It's too big. Yeah.
There's a question. Is this dip called Baba Ganoush?
No, this is not.
Yeah.
Baba Ganoush is mashed eggplant with tomatoes and onions and lemon juice and parsley. This is more like a mutabel. Mutabel has tahini paste which you churn, which becomes into a paste.
This looks just too inviting, Manjari. I wish I could jump into my screen.
I wish I was cooking and doing the thing with you right now.
And you know what? I can't even take pictures of it. Oh God.
It looks so good, really. So, I think, if anyone has questions, please do ask. We have Manjari with us.
Yes, anything health related, I'd be happy to answer. I can go on and on talking about health.
Could you put all the 3 dishes there and we get a picture?
I'm so embarrassed that my kids have eaten.
Well, nothing to be embarrassed. That's good use. They were quick. They knew what was going on in the kitchen.
Imagine they keep asking, have you taken a picture of this?
That's so sweet. Okay.
Sorry, I'm bad luck like that.
Lovely.
But I can
Any question? Sorry. We can't see you. If you could just focus the camera. Yeah, that's right. So any questions from anybody? I think we did have a few questions while the process was on. Yeah. So I hope everyone's taken their notes, and if there are any questions, Manjari, I'll pass them on to you if anybody's missed out on something or something. Yeah.
And healthy cooking is not complicated. It's very easy. Just small changes. It can make all the difference.
Absolutely. And I think I loved watching your, posts on Instagram. So I would urge everyone else, you've put a lot of recipes there. So which is nice. We can all refer to those. And so Mansi, over to you.
Thank you, Manjari. It was really engaging cook show. And I think what everybody takes back from this show is everything that you've created on the platters today is something that people of any age group could eat. And even like my in-laws don't have onion garlic. So a lot of your recipes I saw, I mean, I can easily make this thing for them without the onion garlic. For non-vegetarians, they could add an egg or some seafood or something to it. So it's very versatile. And I think I'm going to try and do something tonight for sure. Mm-hmm. And also with this lockdown, what has happened is, people don't go out to eat as such. So the way you've plated your dishes, the kids would get that kind of a feeling at home, and that would bring such a smile to all our faces as well. So thank you, Manjari, so much for your time. And I would like to thank all the members also who've taken out their time, their friends who've been able to log in. And NCCI Ladies Forum is really, really thankful to everybody who's present there on this webinar. Thank you so much for being there.
And thank you to Ruchika. Please do pass it on to her for recommending.
Surely.
All of us together. I think it was
absolutely.
And thank you to both of you. You've really, meticulously planned this. I was very impressed, and it was very easy working with both of you. So thank you.
Thank you, Manjari.
Thank you so much.
We are such a small group yet, but hoping to, make this a larger and engaging forum. And thank you for agreeing to do this.
I think that's small, but I think, and trust me, it has its own benefit also when things are small. When things grow bigger, the personalization also tends to.
Yes. Yes.
Hopefully we'll have a live cook show someday.
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, this whole Zoom and all, and different feeling.
Yes. Thank you. There's one last question, if I can ask you. Can we use quinoa raw also?
No, quinoa can't be eaten raw. Like you can't have raw rice, you can't have raw quinoa. No, it's like a grain. So it has to be cooked.
Great. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining. Thank you once again, Manjari. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.